There is a one more question, sir. Is there any BTS video of your and Karan's interview?
Okay, I'll check that. I'll check that. Let me check that.
Yeah, if
I'll
you
check that.
have, it's a request to post for us, please.
I'll surely check that.
And there's one more request that's we want a little bit more longer interview with you and Karan.
You know,
It's very short for
I would
us.
love to do that. And as I mentioned to you, the rapid fire is still not out. It will be coming very soon. And
Mhm.
secondly, these interviews were happening for the show, and there were other people who were waiting as well.
So
So
there is a one
this,
more question that you interviewed Shehnaaz as well. So is there any similarity between Shehnaaz and Karan because they both are Punjabis?
I think one similarity that I can think of is that element of honesty. They they say what is there in their heart, and I think that is something which can be as far as the similarity is concerned.
And about Dance Divane sir, uh, w- there's a question: how come Karan took this project as a anchor when he is not a dancer?
Yeah, so you don't have to be a dancer
Did
to
you
be a
ask
host.
about it?
You don't have to be a dancer to be a host. So because I think the job of the host is in a way to be the sutradhar and to be just connect. And as he mentioned in the interview that he went to Jaipur and to meet certain contestants, and so you don't have to be a dancer per se. And one thing that I would like to share the observation that I had because he was right in front of me. So the Zoom call interview that we did, and he had just come out of Big Boss, and I felt that he was far more leaner during this interview. I think he has lost weight, and it seems that he's taking care of his diet and his fitness like very aggressively, and it's very apparent. Um, he looked far younger than what and fitter than what he did post the Big Boss interview. So I think that's always a good news for any artist that you take care of your grooming and your health and your fitness.
So a few of the cringe questions. It's totally up to you whether you want to answer or not,
Okay.
because Karan Kundrra fangirls want to know. So, so a few of the questions which are very cringe, but it's totally up to you. You want to answer or not, but Karan Kundrra fangirls want to know
Please
the
go ahead.
answers.
Please go
So
ahead.
whenever you meet Karan or any of your female friends, does they go off for K Kundra?
Does they go off or kick on you?
Yeah, any of your female friends who are very fond of Karan, his looks, his charms, his way of conducting himself and dressing styles.
You know, I think you've given me a question now. So during my maybe I will be asking this question now to some of the contestants. Maybe I could have asked us to Rashmi Desai. A rapid fire is coming up
No,
soon.
because they want to know any of your female celebrity who have told you मेरा करण से बात करवा देना and all type.
As I told you, I try and not get into this sort of informal relationship with anyone. As I mentioned to you earlier, that um, I don't get into a space which is something that is too pali and too over friendly or anything of that sort. Um, I try and keep my distance. I don't go to parties, and whatever you see of me in terms of having that comfort level with the artist, that is entirely for the cameras. Apart from that, I tend to be reserved. I'll be honest. So I don't get into those questions, or they would not get into those questions with me. So I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir, for answering such questions and entertaining such questions.
Most welcome.
Sir, one last question, which was I think missed out, was how does Karan handle all the sometimes whatever trollings go on in social media and elsewhere? How does he handle those negativities?
I really would not know because I think he'll be the best person to answer that. But generally, I've noticed him to be very cool and calm and um, like a friendly person. Someone who's, as I mentioned to you earlier, who's not overtly ambitious in terms of that I'll do anything to please people. and he just tends to be himself, I think. And anyone who can be himself or herself, um, will be able to handle negativity pretty well. And beyond a point, once you have the experience, trolling would not matter to you. Like, say, for example, there are times when I tend to be trolled for no rhyme or reason, for absolutely no rhyme or reason, and it baffles me. So I just simply don't react to it. Like, that there's no point. So I think he'll be the best person to answer that.
uh, सर वन क्वेश्चन अबाउट डांस दीवाने करण का एक्सपीरियंस कैसे है उनके जजेस के साथ इन डांस दीवाने उन्होंने कुछ बताया आपको
Yeah, I think he's talking about. I think Neetu ji was very excited to work with Neetu ji. I think Neetu ji is a legend, and I had a great experience talking to her because I think she's very funny. Both of them are Punjabis, and they have a sense of humor, and I think that they'll enjoy their food as well because Punjabis they love their food.
Yeah,
So I think from whatever I spoke to him, I think he's very. I think Neetuji is someone that he spoke to me about, and obviously Nora is a fantastic dancer, and Marzi too. So it should be fun because I think as he mentioned in the interview that some of the kids after a point of time you stop treating them as kids because they're so good at what they do, and it's going to be a rocking show I think, and it's going to be fun.
did Neetu ji shared her experience with Karan? Did she spoke anything about Karan?
That the interview is already out. So with as far
Due.
as Neetu ji is concerned, so mostly we spoke about the entire idea of her getting back into the mainstream
Screen.
entertainment space, and so that sort of thing. And we went into a bit of a down the memory lane. We had less time with her. From what I was told, that was the first solo interview that she did. I don't know if she did solo interviews after that or not. I'm not aware of it, but we were the first ones to do it, and they had group interviews after that as well. So we had limited time with her, so we did not speak much about Karan.
So can we expect a broadcast season of yours with all the stars?
I've not really thought about from that perspective, but I'm told that my interviews they'll be converted into podcasts. That's what I've been told internally. So
Uh-huh.
I really, for me, I think a conversation is a conversation. I'm having a conversation with you guys right now, so I love it. So I don't really plan stuff that I should do like a podcast, I should do this or I should do that. Thankfully, I'm getting a lot of respect and a lot of exclusive interviews that we are doing. I did something with Mr. Rajamouli yesterday, so I'm told that that's the only
Yes,
interview
I
that I did.
seen that.
Even Mr. Sanjay Bhansali, for example, gave only I think one or two interviews post Gangubai, and he chose me. So I'm lucky, So, and I think that's something which is it puts responsibility on me, and I try and work very hard on it. Um,
You deserve it, sir. You
no,
deserve
thank
it.
you very much. Thank you very
Congratulations.
much.
Sir, a very last question from my side. Sir, you have interviewed many celebrities like King Khan, Karan Kundra, and all. How does it feel to get interviewed by we immature kids?
You know, I'll tell you something honestly. Now, that's a very good question. That's a very good question, and I'll tell you why. You mentioned about Shah Rukh, for example. So, and I mentioned that quite a few times. When I interviewed Mr. Khan for the first time, that was for Om Shanti Om, and I just joined India FM. It was called at that point of time, and um, now when you look at me and you look at my profile picture, so I work very hard on my physique, and I try and work on my grooming and my clothes and all those things. But when I started off, I, I it was a complete contrast. I weighed almost like 90 kgs, and My face was all puffed up, and I did not have much grooming sense either, anything of that sort. But I will never forget the fact that I had this interview with Shah Rukh Khan, and he was so gracious. Um, See, as I told you, I'm a print journalist. The entire broadcast and video journalism that I'm now famous for, I've learned on the job. I've learned from my mistakes and just tried to keep getting better. I was very, very raw at that point of time. I did not know how to speak. I was nervous. I did not look very, very, very good as well. At that point of time, websites, they were not looked at as something really cool. It was all about news channels. Many people didn't even know that you can have videos on internet. But Shah Rukh Khan was extremely gracious. He answered all the questions on its merit. He did not make me feel uncomfortable at all. In fact, the publicist was urging me to hurry up. He took his own sweet time to answer all the questions, so that I should not feel that he's trying to hurry up in any way whatsoever. And he was extremely nice. So I'll never forget that. So when you say that stupid questions maybe asked by you, I don't think that they were stupid questions at all. I think they were very nice questions. I had a great time. So what I learned from that experience is that never ever look down upon anyone that you meet in your journey. Everyone is trying to say something. They may be nervous. They may be not that articulate. They may not look that that perfect or the way maybe a lot of movie stars do. But that does not mean that you don't listen to them. So that is why wherever I travel, thankfully people, I'm very lucky that people tend to identify me wherever I travel. So I always make sure that I just click pictures with them and I ask them their names always. And I make that eye contact with them for that particular moment that if they have followed my work and they are appreciative of it and they want to click a picture with me, and so it's my duty to make them feel nice and make them feel comfortable and make them feel special so that they can carry it with them that yes, he was nice to us. So this is something that I learned from Mr. Shah Khan.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir,
sir. It
for
was a
sharing.
very nice answer, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Really
sir. And sir,
appreciate
Thank you
whenever
so
it.
much
you
for.
will have next interview with Shah Rukh Khan or Karan Kundra, please let us know beforehand,
I'll do that.
at
We
least
will send the
24, 48
question.
hours,
I'll do that.
so that we can hype that
No,
maximum.
no, I'll do that for sure. I'll do that. I really want to have a very fine and like a long conversation with Karan, and I hope it will happen as and when it does.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
sir.
looking forward to that. All right. Thank you very much, and all the best wishes to all of you.
Th-
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Sir, one
Thank
Thank
you,
you
message
sir,
so
for
for
K
much.
joining
Kundra
us.
squad.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your precious time and doing
Sir,
this.
one
Thank you.
last message for K Kundra squad, and thank you very much for entertaining us.
One last message that I always say that fans are a reflection of the personality of the star they follow, and you guys are well behaved and cultured, and just maintain that. Being nice, I think, is
Thank you, sir.
being nice is important. Being cultured is important.
Thank you so much, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
sir.
very much. All the best.